Hey, welcome back, and thanks for tuning in to Recruiting Insight. This is the place to be if you want to connect with the most successful recruiters and hiring managers and innovators in the real estate industry. Hey, it's a great day to recruit, and today we're going to be chatting with Dave Caveness. Dave is the president and CEO of Carpenter Realtors in Indianapolis. During his tenure with Carpenter, he has grown his company from 7 neighborhood locations to more than 30 offices that are strategically located in central Indiana. They're more than 650 agents strong now, and recruiting continues to be their primary focus. Now, what makes Dave a little different from some of our other guests is I've personally worked with Dave for more than a decade. No smoke screens here. I know the real story, and I can tell you this. He's a great leader, and he hires great leaders to manage the Carpenter offices. Also, it is one of the most data-driven organizations I've ever encountered. No fluff today. You're going to get the real story based on facts and data. So let's jump in. All right. Hey, Dave, thanks for joining us this morning. It's really a pleasure for you to be on the podcast, and we're looking forward to having others hear your story. Before we get started, I just want to let my listeners know that Dave has one of the most interesting backgrounds. We've talked about things for many years, and there's always a story that amazes me, whether it's riding around and flying around the corporate jets, or hanging out with Ross Perot's son, doing hiking, or hiking through the Grand Canyon in 125-degree heat. There's always something going on.
129 actually, Ben. It reached 129.
129. There we go. So you live an interesting life, but I think even more than that, you run an interesting and successful company, particularly as it relates to recruiting. And I think that's what we're going to focus on today. So, welcome. Can you tell us a little about Carpenter and kind of your journey there?
Well, Carpenter has been around. This is its 52nd year. Formed by a guy named Roy Carpenter. Roy was only with the company a year or two. He sold the company to my mentor, Tom Prawl, who you know. Yeah. Tom is no longer with the company. He's retired, and I've been around here so long, they made me the president of the company. And we have, as I think you may have introduced, we've got 33 branches in 15 counties spread across central Indiana here. Our offices are smaller. And so that's, I've been in real estate 52 years. And if you're just proving that if you just hang around long enough, you can get lucky.
Well, you've got a little lucky, but I think you've done a lot of hard work too to get you where you're at, and I will agree with you. A lot of perseverance. 52 years, that's a long time. So
that's a long time. That's right.
And how long at Carpenter? When did you take
32 of the 52 are here in central Indiana with Carpenter Realtors. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a long time, and I know that over that time you've built a pretty phenomenal company. Let's jump in and talk specifically about recruiting, and I wanted to cover really 2 issues today. Some of our listeners have given us some feedback that they want a little more practical things that they can apply, or more specific to. So we're going to delve into really 2 specifics today. And one is the structure that you use in your offices related to recruiting. So we know that recruiting, there's some companies that hire central recruiters, and they do all the recruiting for the company. There's other ones that operate with bigger offices, typically have a full-time manager, sometimes an assistant manager. Those managers will recruit. And then there's a third option, which is commonly a selling manager, right? Somebody that sells plus manages, usually small offices to, I think in your case, 10 to 20 agents would, if I do the math right on that, to kind of in that range. So you've chosen the third option. So I wanted to give a little, tell our listeners, why'd you go that route? And then, what are some of the pros and cons of doing that?
Well, we have selling managers. Just what I think. I'll just tell you what I think, what I believe. I'm not interested in hiring desk jockeys, somebody who looks at their watch and comes in at 8 or 8:30 or 9 and sits behind a desk and helps engineer transactions for agents. And then the bell rings and they go home at 5 o'clock. Mm-hmm. We're not interested in that. We live a different life here. So we're looking for individuals who have an entrepreneurial spirit And they want to build something. They have fire in the belly. They want to prove something. And they have a history of being successful at using our business model to go out and get listings. So they've demonstrated over time that they have what it takes to get listings, that people like them. They're good communicators. We generally grow our own managers. We, till the earth, plant the seed, managers grow up, and we harvest a manager. So most of our managers, rare exception, have come from within our platform, our program, and that's what we're looking for. Our managers don't touch paper, Ben.
Okay.
They don't touch paper. They don't fill out any reports. They don't pay any bills. They don't even have to look at the P&L. Everything that we do, from ordering toilet paper for our bathrooms, clear to an outdoor billboard campaign, all of the accounting, all of the purchasing is centralized. Mm-hmm. So I need a manager, not who can manage a business, but who can manage people and coach them, mentor them, whatever you want to call it. I call it all management.
Okay. So if you boil that down, so obviously you're taking a lot off the plate of the manager.
Everything I can.
Everything you can. Okay. So what's left on the plate is obviously they're selling. So they're going to do some selling.
Personal sales.
But then they're also going to do, it sounds like, some coaching and mentoring and recruiting. It really boils down to those two things.
You and I know, and our approach here, the number one function for a branch manager at our company is recruiting. It's really the staffing cycle. Mm-hmm. The prospecting, the interviewing, the hiring, the development, the weeding, retaining. That's the staffing cycle. That's what it's all about here. They don't have to be good at almost anything else. Mm-hmm. If they're good at the staffing cycle, they're going to be a superstar manager for us.
Okay. So with those people that are in that role and they're doing it, so they obviously need to split their time between selling. So what do you find with your high performing managers is the right kind of is it 50% on each of those duties? This
will sound crazy to you. Our busiest managers, who are listing and selling more real estate than another manager, whose lives are crazy with kids and sports and family, everything, they're the most successful at recruiting agents. It's the ones that should have the least amount of time. And I think they're just good at managing their time. They're driven. They're never looking at their watch. They're just getting everything done. And you make busier people get more done. The busiest people get more things done. And so I'm looking for somebody that's got good time management, good communication skills, lists and sells, loves the company, and hopefully they're going to hire people just like themselves.
Well, it's almost like it seems like there's an attraction that happens there then, right? You've got somebody who's, obviously known in the marketplace. They're known for their work. They're known for their work product. And also they're creating a lot of, friends and network contacts and everything. So is there a kind of a natural attraction then that happens? Is that why you think?
I don't really know what exactly it is, but I do know that I don't want a desk jockey. I want somebody who's got credibility in the hearts and minds of a brand new agent or an experienced agent in their office. When you're trying to coach somebody and you've never played the game particularly well, I think it's kind of hard. Yeah. So if I'm a superstar agent and I happen to be your branch manager and I'm giving you some career development advice, coaching you, mentoring you, I think the credibility factor is there versus somebody who's the manager, mm-hmm. and they sit in their office all day long and you're sitting there, that guy hadn't been on a listing appointment in 20 years. See? Yeah. He's trying to tell me what to do. He doesn't know what it's like out there. I want somebody on my team that knows exactly what's going on outside that door every day.
Yeah. So do you also find that all the activities that an agent does, a successful agent does, prospecting, building a database of contacts, getting
It's the
listings.
same.
It's the same as recruiting, isn't
Oh,
it?
it's the same, Ben.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's they have to prospect, don't they? If they're in the business and successful, they have to work their sphere of influence, don't they? If they're going to be successful, listing or recruiting, they've got to be able to sell. They've got to be able to close. They've got to be able to process the paperwork. I said they don't do paperwork, but they at least have to be able to hand something off to an administrative person. Say, get Fred signed up. I mean, I don't. It's not a complex or hard. It's a very simple business. The recruiting is a very simple process. It's just hard.
Mm-hmm.
It requires what's the word that people don't like this word? What's the word that it requires?
Discipline.
Work.
Work. Oh, the work word.
Work. Oh, that's the one.
Okay. Yeah. No, I get that, and I do see. I coach a lot of managers, as you know, and I do see the ones that are that see the process very similar to what they did as an agent, or in your case, what they're doing as an agent are the ones that are most successful at it. They know that there is a what you call it, a cycle, that recruiting cycle that goes through that
staffing cycle. It's not just recruiting, because we have to, once we get them, we have to develop them. Mm-hmm. If they won't participate in their development, we have to weed them. Mm-hmm. And if we really like them, we have to retain them.
Yes. Yeah. I remember it. That was at one of your meetings, and you had didn't you have a graphic for that? You had a graphic that.
It's a cycle, circle.
Yeah.
And just the little arrow goes all around. Yeah. And we talk about it. I mean, repetition is the key to most of our learning here at Carpenter. And so every month we come around to the number one job function of our branch managers, and it's the staffing cycle. Mm-hmm. And we read it. They all have a copy. Mm-hmm. They get one every month. And we read it to them again. Some of these people have been with us 30 years. That's a lot of reading the staffing cycle.
So I'm going to put in the podcast. I'm going to put, if it's okay, I'd like to put a copy of your staffing cycle in there. I think I have a copy of it somewhere.
Okay.
Not, I'll get it from you. But I think it would be beneficial and instructive for people to see that not only what it is that they're reading, but then now seeing that, hey, this is repetition. This is not complicated.
No,
this is good execution.
Yeah. They just got to remember to do their job. They've got to always be recruiting. You know that.
Yes, absolutely. Well, let's go on to topic 2. And topic 2 is a fun thing that you've that you did many years ago. I know, but it's called the Got Your 5 program. And when I remember, I don't remember where we were, but when you first told me about it, they got my 5 program.
I knew you were going to talk about it. And if you weren't, I was anyway. Got my 5. That's the logo.
Okay.
Because for years, I would, at the managers' meetings, I would just say, guys, and guys is generic, includes gals.
Uh-huh.
Guys, I'd hold up my hand and I said, just hire 5. Mm-hmm. That's all I got to do. Don't have to get one a month. Just hire 5 agents. And if everybody on our management team hires 5 agents in 12 months, mm-hmm. We're going to do great. And some years, sometimes the bear gets us and sometimes we get the bear, but most years we grow the enterprise mm-hmm. a little bit. Mm-hmm. Some years we actually shrink, but our share of market goes up, 08, 9, 10, 11. As I said, we've been around a long time. It was just a silly thing. But human nature is such that these people, these managers, are very competitive mm-hmm. and they like to win. They're not so much interested in the prize as the contest. So we run a contest called Get Your 5. All you have to do is hire 5 people in a year. Mm-hmm. And as you know, we mention every hiring, we mention that at our managers meeting, who hired who. And once they've hired five agents, they join our Got My Five Club. They receive this very nice, it's all metal, it's not plastic, button. And once they have it, they're required to wear it to the meeting so their peers all see that they have this special award.
So let me set the scene a little bit. So this is, you do this every month, of course, but so as an outsider, when I come into your meeting, so you're in a hotel down next to and you've got the amphitheater approach.
Well, we do a symposium room.
It is. It's amazing. So they got tiered, tiered seats up to the roof or whatever. And what do you have in there? 50 people, 50, 60 people?
65. We have all of our key administrative support department heads are in there.
Right. So this announcement that you're doing is in front of this amphitheater sort of thing, and it's all together, right?
Yep. Yeah. So what we do is once you get your five, now you can get them right away. Once you get your five, and we keep score, everybody gets a copy and sees what everybody's doing and how they're doing. But once you get your five, we ask you to come down. You are awarded your silly all metal button, and you receive a $100 bill. And these people make good money. So $100 isn't going to make it. It isn't. It's the contest.
Yes.
So they come down and everybody applauds, because I take note of anybody who's not applauding and want to talk to them later. So congratulations, Ben. This is terrific. Here's your $100. Lunch is on Ben, everybody. And Ben goes back up to the thing like this and has this thing. And then next month, Ben hired another person. No, Ben didn't hire anybody the next month, but Ben showed up next month wearing his button. He automatically gets another $20 and comes down in front of his peers and gets the silly $20 bill. Mm-hmm. That's what he wants. See, because we have the right kind of people, most of them. And so he gets a $20 bill, and he gets a 20 for just showing up, and he gets a 20 if he hires another person. So Ben, here's your 20, and here's your 20. And as the year goes on, and you were here late in the year, this whole process takes 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Of giving out. I mean, I have a table in front of me that when they come into the meeting, it's stacked with $100 bills and $20 bills.
Yes, it's great.
I mean, it's a couple of $1,000s sometimes. I'm sitting there handing out this money, and these people are going like this. And the people that aren't collecting money, and they don't wear their button, it's pretty visible. It's no place for them to hide. Mm-hmm. So, it's really hard to recruit, except for these 23 of our managers who are kicking ass and taking names. Wonder about the other 8 or 9 or 10, So peer pressure is powerful. Mm-hmm. I never mention the ones that aren't recruiting. I never mention their names.
Yes.
I'm just always talking about the ones that are recruiting. I'm applauding. I'm slapping them on the back, saying, hell of a good job. Boy, next year is going to be terrific for your branch. See, that's where the real money is.
Yeah, that's right.
It's going to be terrific for your branch. Never mention this guy, this guy, this guy. You don't have to.
Right. There's a couple of things I take away from this as I look at it just from an outsider, and I think it's a phenomenal program. You know that we've talked about it a couple of times, but I think first of all, there's a gamification side to this. I mean, that's kind of what's going on in the industry, right? So you're making it fun. You're making recruiting fun. No one likes to recruit. We know that.
Well, unless you hire somebody that sells a lot of real estate, you like it a lot.
Well, those don't have the rewards are good on the other side, for sure.
Really do.
But we're taking an activity that most people don't like to do, and we're making it fun. We're making it into a competition. We're hitting upon what you said. One was competition side of it. These are competitive people, and then the second is recognition in front of their peers.
Yeah.
Those are kind of the two. There's a psychology to this, isn't you figure this out here?
I'm apparently a genius at this psychology thing. It goes one step further. Their spouses. I want their spouses working on my team. So we take everybody who gets in the club during the year, whether they got in early in the year or late in the year. I take them to the nicest steakhouse, St. Elmo's here in Des Moines or in Indianapolis, just a fantastic place. You've been there. And I take them there for a private dinner, all of them together. Open bar, Uber, please Uber. Mm-hmm. And we don't have any speeches. There's not order off the menu. Just, don't order the Don Perrier, whatever it is. Don't, you can hurt me, but don't hurt me. And they love it. Mm-hmm. And these people, some of these, as silly as this will sound to you, I'm convinced some of them will hire somebody just to make sure they make the dinner because they don't want to go home and tell their husband or tell their wife they're not going to St. Elmo's this year. See,
that'd be a hard, the spouse is, asking during the year, hey, about October, they start asking, hey, where we at on the process?
What day? Because we always do. What day is the dinner? What day is the dinner? I want to get that on my social calendar.
There you go. Probably December. It gets busy in December, doesn't it?
Well, but we wait. We give them actually until our January meeting, which grabs all the December people and gives them an extra 10 days or 2 weeks to get that fifth one.
Yeah. Well, it's a remarkable program, and I've actually been there. For some reason, I usually come in November, December to see you guys, and the energy is amazing. The fun that your managers have with it is incredible. As it compares to recruiting, it probably is not a huge expense, right? I mean, if you just add up it's something. But
it's recruiting is the number one job function. Mm-hmm. I tell them that I'm ready, willing, and able to spend $1,000 for every licensee somebody can bring through the door. $1,000. Wow. If you showed up with 100 licensees, Indiana licenses, they don't have to be trained, we'll train them. Mm-hmm. I would write you a check for $100,000 and the check would clear. 200 agents, 200,000, 300 agents, 300,000. They're not all going to make it. The numbers are pretty much always the same. Mm-hmm. Certain percentage, as hard as we try, they don't want a successful career in real estate. They demonstrate that, they're out the door. It's no different here than it is any other market, I'm sure. And we compete with all the same people everybody's competing with. Mm-hmm. Again, we don't have mountains, we don't have an ocean. We have a lot of corn and soybean fields.
There you go. Well, as we wrap up today, I wanted to just pick your brain on one more issue, and this is really pointed at. There's a number of single office brokers. There's a number of managers that are selling managers like you have, and there's other team leaders. So with this environment where you need to sell. And you need to manage at the same time. I mean, you've hired a lot of these over time. What's kind of the DNA there? What's the business DNA that you're looking for when you hire one of those managers?
Again, they've got to have. We call it. And this is hard to. We call it fire in the belly. It's what we call it here. They've got to want to do so. They don't own the company, but we want them to feel like they do. We want them that spirit. Where they want to build something. And as you know how we're structured, if you can find those people, it's not easy. Mm-hmm. I said earlier, we try to grow our own. Be careful, the shiny penny from outside your company looks sometimes so much better than the people you know in your office or in your organization. But be careful with that. Everybody else in your company is watching. Always try to hire from within if you possibly can. You're less likely to make a terrible mistake. Mm. You already know that they're conducive with your culture. Somebody from outside may not be. Mm-hmm. I can't stand turnover. I just can't of our employees, of our managers. We just don't have it. They don't come and go here. They come. They build a long-term career, and you've seen this, and they retire, and they don't. That's what I want, and that's important to me. And so you got to find that. You got to raise them up.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility as an owner broker, senior management person. And if you don't have anybody, then who do you blame? Can't blame them. You're the one that hired them.
That is true. That's true. You got to look in the mirror at that point. Well, I've seen it firsthand, because a lot of when I hang out with your managers, I can tell pretty quickly they're all friends and they've all grown up in this together. And they know each other's kids. They know each other's spouses. There is a camaraderie there that you have built culturally. It is remarkable. I don't see it a lot.
It's interesting, Ben. We're not a party company. Some of these companies, go out and party. That's not where this relationship. That's not what it's about. Most of our managers are not deeply socially engaged with each other. It's just a business respect. Our spouses are involved, not in the management of the company, but in all the functions. Mm-hmm. So we involve the families, kids, and spouses in all kinds of functions throughout the year, and that's where they get to, over the years they get to know each other, and
Yeah, it's remarkable, and probably in another podcast we should do another one at some point here and talk about some of the structural pieces of how you built ownership into all this. That's another amazing story in what you've done there. So
I was on the sidelines with that. I just was learning from a master when we put that.
I remember when Tom and I talked about that. It was remarkable what he put together there. So.
And it's designed to last for hundreds of years.
Yeah, which is great. Yeah.
Unless we screw it up.
Yeah, there you go. Unless you stop recruiting, that'll be.
When you stop, your company is dying when you're stopping. When you don't recruit, your company's actually in the process of dying.
Well, Dave, thanks so much for joining us today. I know many of our listeners are going to learn a bunch today, and for all of you who are doing the hard work of recruiting every single day, I want you to take what you've learned today from Dave and go make a difference.